Hello, my name's Earl Phillips. I am the director of the high school 2021 virtual ensembles. And I wanted to take just a second in between these songs here just to explain how this project was put together, how at least I did my end of it, maybe for hopes of anybody finding themselves in a similar situation working on a virtual project. I was really lucky because there were a lot of videos, especially from a colleague of mine who did the junior high band, Dave Pollock, who's very gifted in putting this material together. He was super helpful to me, as were a lot of the videos that had come out about people putting virtual bands together in light of the pandemic, kind of shutting everything down for us. So there's a lot of material out there. I'm going to hopefully add to this with some of the things that, I picked up along the way. I'm certainly no expert in this, but just, looking to share. I wanted to also say that, putting this whole thing of, the virtual region band together came from a place of me being a part of this when I was a high school student. I know how important it was, at least to me in my development as a musician, having the opportunity not only just to represent my school, but the chance to perform with and, be around other really talented musicians from across the area. So this was something very special to me. And, I was just hoping to find a way, right? We've heard it a million times. It's not the same thing, but it was something for us to at least work on something together, to collaborate, to meet some new people. And again, this is coming from a place of really wanting to provide something for those people who wanted to try out and make it happen. So hopefully it was a good experience. That said, how this all kind of came together. I chose two pieces that were arrangements and compositions done by former students of mine. Both Jay Kaplan and Dave Moscow, who were our arrangers, are graduates of my high school. So something that's very important to me is, being organic and trying to promote from within. So I was really excited to perform their literature. And those cats, obviously wrote charts. I think they are both Sibelius. This is Sibelius for sure. I think Jake's chart was in Finale. But anyway, straight ahead, the parts are all there. The score is all there. This gets exported to a MIDI file. And from that MIDI file, I called that up in Logic, and I created play along, like backing tracks for everybody to record to. There were individual cuts so people could hear their parts if they wanted, or if they just wanted to record to the full ensemble. Rhythm section players don't necessarily like to hear themselves playing while somebody else is playing their part. So I made individual parts for the individual rhythm section players. So on the drum track or on the drum play along, there's no drums on it. On the bass one, there's no bass, but there is drums, there's changes, there's, the MIDI horns, all of that stuff. So creating customized play along tracks for everybody was one way, that I went about this, is specifically for the rhythm section players, because they don't necessarily like to hear, two walking lines while they're playing. We would rehearse through Google Meet or Zoom, whichever one it was. And, everybody would log on, and during the rehearsals, there wouldn't be any playing. So when we got together, that would be kind of a recap of, all of the files that everybody sent to me, talking about some global things ensemble that I wanted to address. So, articulations, releases, anything with form, or who's going to solo, or anything like that. Because we only met for an hour online, or, like 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere in that window. And with just technology, everybody's individual lives, yada, yada, yada. It was enough just to get everybody there for that 45 minutes, and it flew. It really did. We also tried to make it educational too, just talking about music, bringing in guests to come and speak to the students as well. I had both arrangers come on and meet the cats and kind of talk to them about their experience now as professional musicians, and also coming through this region jazz thing. Again, it was a fast 45 minutes for both bands. I'll show you this as well. So each week we would rehearse, and again, students would get the music. They would have a week to record themselves. and they would send me their recordings. So what I did for each of the students was, like, I'll pull this, which one? It's just because I see the pictures here, and I won't unmute it so you don't have to hear me. But what I would do is I would have their project called up in Logic with the rest of whatever was there, like, the MIDI horns, the drums, and all that stuff. And I'd have their parts side by side. So they would get individual feedback on, what they're playing, some things they needed to work on, blah, blah, blah. That was the biggest time-consuming part of this project. There's 5, 13, 12. So 17 kids in each band, multiplied by, this video is 10 minutes long for one song. So, I mean, each kid, each student, got that kind of feedback for each video. So it did take a lot of time from that perspective, but we weren't able to be right there live in rehearsal to get any of that information. So again, trying to make it as impactful as possible. Those students got that. Each week they sent in recordings, trying to give them feedback for whatever. And I guess I'll go back and show you that those videos started, ways down here. Gaw, Kundra. Yeah, these are all videos for that. Okay. Narika. Yeah, so she's about here. So yeah, all this up here, all the way up, maybe a couple of videos just from my school, but that's, what we did during the week. Once we got the final recordings in, I'll show you this. This is one of the bands doing things in Logic. That's, what I chose to work with. You don't have to use Logic, but again, I have it, so I was able to use it. And this is what, one of the charts. This is Lorraine's Lament. This is Jake's chart. So we called everything into there. That's where all the audio editing went down for each of the tracks. Once I had the files from everybody, that MP3 was sent over to Final Cut. And in Final Cut, that's where I brought the video in. And when I brought the video in, I would mute all of the video tracks that came. So the students, when they're playing, some of them sent video for their recordings, which was fine. Some on their video just kind of air played, which was cool either way. So it kind of happened, different ways for different people. But all of the audio that you hear on the video is all coming from this Logic bounce. And if there was any audio on anything in Final Cut, that was all stripped down just so that all you were hearing is this. So yeah, that's kind of how this whole project went together. Something through this, again, for anybody who's looking to put something like this together, one thing that I found, and I'm no expert in this. I was doing what I could, but it was really interesting to kind of balance between people who were recording, for example, into their phones, or some students who had, full setups over at their house, audio interface, really nice mic. So that was something that really impacted the project, I guess, from the mixing and the production side of things, because of the difference of quality between both setups. And another thing too, with video as well, some people recording landscape versus portrait, and the adjustments with that. And Final Cut is not one of my strongest areas. It's something that I learned through doing this project. If you cats are into it, you got to check out Dave's stuff. His stuff is absolutely wonderful. So anywho, that's kind of the 1, 2, 3 of how this project got together. So I just wanted to share that with you. And again, I'll continue on with the rest of the concert that we have. Thanks for being a part of it. And to all the students that were in the band, again, I hope this does you right. I hope it was an enjoyable and informative experience. And I wish you all nothing but the best of success in whatever future endeavors come your way. And hope to cross paths too, not just digitally, but to link up in person sometime. All right. Thanks, everybody. Be well.